So I am not really declaring bankruptcy. Crypto, my crypto account. So I use Coinbase for crypto, and but listening to some other crypto investors, I got to realize that you can actually make cash flow from Bitcoin and the likes by using different platforms. So I decided that I'm gonna take 25% of what I had in my Coinbase account and move it into a different platform that pays dividend on a weekly basis based on the percentage of the amount of crypto that you had. And that platform is called Celsius. I came across it from listening to one of these crypto gurus. Uh, so this is one of the reasons they say half education is bad. So I heard him say that you can make passive cash flow, and I'm all about passive income. So as soon as, like, my stock investing is mainly capital preservation and cash flow, my whole investing motto is about cash flow, not necessarily capital gains. Though capital gains or capital appreciation is all welcome, but my primary purpose for investing is cash flow. So I decided to move 25% of my crypto portfolio into Celsius. And the first week I got a dividend, and I was like, on Monday, and I was like, whoa, okay, this is interesting. Now there were some other things they had, like if you want higher dividend, you should invest in their own Celsius coin or something like that. But I was okay with my Bitcoin as it was. Bitcoin is the granddaddy of them all. The only other coin I dabble into will be Litecoin. All the others, I don't even touch them because I'm not well educated enough on cryptocurrencies. So I moved 25% of my portfolio into Celsius. I started getting the dividends, and at some stage I wanted to tell my wife as well that, oh, do you know, because we actually heard this together. We heard about this Celsius at the same time, but I'm the type of person that likes to take action fast, and she was pretty reluctant. She's okay with where it is, just waiting for Bitcoin to fly up because it's down and things like that. But I wasn't. The flying up and down doesn't bother me that much. Like I said, it's all about the cash flow. So I moved 25% of my, how many times am I gonna say that? I moved it into Celsius, and they paid me first week, second week, third week, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. Maybe I'll add more to it. Thank God I didn't, because here's what happened. Right now, I believe Celsius, the first thing that happened during this crypto crash was they decided to halt or pause withdrawals. So you can't withdraw, you can't transfer. Now this brought back memories. Before I got into stock investing, there were other ventures that I've dabbled into. There are things we called HYP, HYIP, high yield investments, whatever. They're basically Ponzi schemes where you put some money in, you get a certain percentage every week, but that money is only possible or is dependent on new people depositing money in. And I've done quite a few of those. The biggest one I did was Just Been Paid, JBP, and I tested it first. So I put some money. That was years and years ago. I put some money into it, a little bit of my money, and they paid into my account, and I allowed it to grow a little bit. Then I withdrew it into my. Then there was an online account we called Alert Pay, and then it changed its name to Payza because they didn't take PayPal and things like that. But Alert Pay would be like like PayPal but way smaller. And they sent the money to my Payza. I was like, Alert Pay at the time, and I was like, whoa, okay, this is interesting. I've never seen this before, and that was how I got hooked into it. And then I started investing and putting a certain percentage. Then I was on weekly salary. I was on weekly salary, so there's a percentage every week that I put in there, almost like a dollar cost average thing. And I was getting paid, and I intended to build it to a certain level. And I built it to a point where I was getting about $2,000 a month. And you believe it, I actually quit my job. That was how stupid I was. I quit my job. My wife was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't need a job anymore. Only broke people do 9 to 5. and all this kind of shit. And what then happened was, a few months, they stopped paying, they paused the payments, and then they said they had issues with the algorithm, and they started changing some stuff, and then they went off. And I'd already introduced some people to this. I was already living large. I was like semi-retired. And then they changed their name from Just Been Paid to jeez, I can't remember what they changed their name into. But if you Google Just Been Paid, anyway, I was one of the victims. And that was how, so, and that one just stopped, okay? All the money gone. But I had, luckily enough, I had withdrawn over 3/4 of what because I stopped paying into it, and I was only withdrawing, and I had withdrawn over 3/4 of what I had in there anyway, but of the total I've paid into it by the time this happened. So it wasn't too much of a loss. Up till date, my wife still laughs at me and say, "Are you still losing money?" Even with the stocks, she's like, "Are you still losing money?" She has no idea how much I'm making on the stocks. Because she said I'm always into all these ventures. So just that was just down memory lane. So when Celsius said they were going to pause payments and withdrawals and transfers, I was like, okay, red flag. And I think right now they're filing bankruptcy. The few hundred euro Bitcoin that I have in there, thank God it's not much, is gonna go off in puff or in smokes. I don't know if they're gonna pay the investors, the holders back. Now here's the lesson in the video. Here's the lesson. I have decided that once my portfolio in first trade that I use right now for stocks get to 25,000, I'm gonna open another account on a different platform. So I intend to have about 4 different platforms and distribute my money equally between them. So when this gets to 25, I'll open another one. When that gets to 25, I'll open another one, because too many people are falling prey to these things just disappearing. I mean, if your broker gets into this same issue and they say they're going bankrupt or closing down for some reason, I don't know if the money in the brokerage is insured. I guess it's something I have to investigate or research. And if there's anybody that knows more about that, please leave a comment below so I can read it. I don't know if the money in brokerage is insured, just like your money in the bank, to up to 250,000. But I don't know if it's insured in the brokerage, and if it is, I don't know up to what limit. So I've decided to diversify my brokerage, just so that if one happens to go down the drain, my whole wealth doesn't go down the drain. Because I learned a terrible lesson at the time when that one went off puff and whatever you want to call it. I had to get out of my retirement and get a proper job in shame. And I just, after this happened, it's not something I wish on anybody else. So that will be all for this video, and I'll be coming back to you again next time for another video. Stay tuned.